Good day, everybody. And I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 3 English lesson on similes. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts. Grade 3, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of similes. All right, so similes is our chapter for today. So our chapter is similes. Our subject is English language arts, grade 3. And the lessons that we are focusing on is similes with pictures, and to determine the meaning of similes. So that's going to be our lessons for today under the chapter of similes. All right. So similes, right? It's figures of speech that compares two things that are not actually alike. So it's comparing two things that is not actually alike, right? And when we are using similes, right, in our writing, then using simile in our writing can help. It can help you to create an interesting picture for the reader. So using similes in our writing, we said it can help to create an interesting picture for the reader, right? So basically, when it comes to the meaning of a simile, right, we can say a simile, it also compares two things by saying that one thing is like the other. And keeping in mind that when we compare these things, then they are not actually alike. So simile compares things or two things, by saying that one is like the other. So we can either use words like it is like something, right? Or as something. And if we look at the words that is being used, words that is often used are words like or as. So similes, they often use words like something or as something. All right. So if we look at an example of a simile, right? So if we look at an example of a simile, it says the cat's fur was as dark as the night sky. So the cat's fur was as dark as the night sky, which means that we are comparing the darkness of the cat's fur to the night sky. And if you look at both of those, let's say both of those phrases, right, or figures of speech, they are not actually alike. Like the fur of the cat as well as the sky, right? It's not even connected at all. However, if we look at these figures of speech, right, and then it means that we are comparing the cat's fur, right, as how black or dark it is, we compare it to the night sky, right? So which means that when it comes to the night sky, right, then it means that the night sky is quite dark, right? It's dark, especially if you don't sometimes see, let's say, the moon or whatever, because the moon is just there to bring about light. So the night sky is very dark. So the simile, right, which is as, so the simile, it suggests that the cat's fur is also very dark, right? So we say simile, it compares two things by saying that one is like the other. And in this case of the cat's fur was as dark as the night sky, it means that we are comparing the night sky to how dark the cat's fur is, or we compare how dark the cat's fur is to the night sky, meaning it is basically a pitch black cat that we are talking about. Because the night sky, it refers to darkness, right? Night sky is very dark, right? Which means that it now means that the cat's fur is also very dark. All right. So once again, we said similes are figures of speech, right? And they are figures of speech that compare two things that are not actually alike. And listen, they are not actually alike, right? And we see the simile, it compares two things by saying that one thing is like the other thing. So one thing is like the other thing, and we said we use words like something or as something to basically compare these two things. We say it is like something or as something, and that means we are now, let's say, comparing the let's say the figures of speech, right? And that is why we use words like, or we use words like as, and that is what we use to compare the figures of speeches. All right. So now, if we look at another example, right, we can say that my sister runs like a cheetah. So my sister runs like a cheetah. My sister runs like a cheetah, right? And if we look at the word, the figure, it says like a cheetah, right? We know that a cheetah runs very fast. And if we are comparing how the sister runs, to a cheetah, then it means that the sister, she runs very fast. So if we're comparing the sister to a cheetah, then it means that the sister runs very fast. Right? So if we look at the cheetah, right, and the meaning of the cheetah, then we can say that the cheetah is known for running fast. The cheetah is well known for running fast. So now, in this case, we are still comparing how fast a sister runs to a cheetah, right? That means that if the cheetah runs fast, and it means that if we're comparing that to a cheetah, then it means that we are saying that the sister is also running very fast. Right? All right. So we are doing a tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. So now we're going to go to aplusstudents.ca and we're going to the chapter of similes. And the first lesson that we're going to go over is similes with pictures. We're going to look at the pictures and we're going to compare it. So here it says, which picture matches the meaning of the simile? It says, Mark felt like someone who had just walked through the desert. Right? So it says, Mark felt like someone who had just walked through the desert. And over here it says that the first picture, it matches the meaning of similes, right? It says a person who had just walked through the desert would be hot and thirsty. So if we're comparing this boy walking, right, to him feeling like he's walking through the desert, and then it means that it feels like you were just walking and walking, right? Ran out of water, ran out of food, you're getting hungry, you're getting thirsty. So that is what they mean when they compare it to in the desert. The desert is dry. You get hungry real quickly, get thirsty real quickly. It's like you're just walking. All right. If we look at the next picture, it says, after running around all day, Rick slept like a log. So we said, after running all day, Rick slept like a log. Like a log. And if we compare Rick sleeping to a log, right? Think of a big log. They're not moving that log, right? Because it, of course, seems impossible to move because it's heavy. So, which means that you are just leaving the log to be. And that is why we are comparing. He's running around all day, right? So, after running around all day, he is not sleeping like a log. So, his sleeping pattern, we are comparing it to a log. Right? So here we can say that the picture matches the meaning of the simile. A log stays still and does not move. That is why I was saying you do not move a log. The log is in the middle of the pathway. It is in the middle of the pathway. We do not move it, right? All right. And we said when we compare these words in similes, they often use words like something or as something. And that is to compare either figures of speeches to another figure of speech. All right. All right. And if we look at the next picture, right? Here we have a picture with clothes. And here they're saying that the inside of Katie's clothes looks like a box of crayons. And if we look at the box of crayons, right? If we compare her cupboard to a box of crayons, and then it just means that there's just a lot of colors going on. All right. So that is basically similes, right? And we said similes with pictures or similes, it compares, let's say, two things. And the things or the figures of speech, it does not necessarily have to be the same, right? It is basically things that are not alike that they are comparing. And using similes in your writing, it can help to create an interesting picture for the reader, right? So now we're going to our test. All right, if we now look at these two pictures, it says, Mr. Lynch's beard is like a bag of cotton wool ball. So Mr. Lynch's bag, Mr. Lynch's beard is like a bag of cotton ball wool. We need to say which one is, do you think we are talking about? Mr. Lynch. The first one or the second one? Who are we talking about? Who is Mr. Lynch? Whose beard is like a ball or a bag of cotton? So it's the first picture or the second picture? All right. So once again, it says Mr. Lynch's beard is like a bag of cotton wool. Is it the first option or the second option? And if we choose the correct one, we can say it is the first one, right? Because if the bag is like, if the beard is being compared to a bag of cotton wool, right? Usually cotton wool is white, right? We can say it is fluffy, right? Soft. And this first person has white beard, right? And the first option is correct. So well done. All right, it says Ethan is sick today and his face looks like an underripe banana. So Ethan is sick today and his face looks like an underripe banana. We need to say which one is the correct one. So the first picture where his face looks like an underripe banana, or the second picture where his face looks like an underripe banana. All right, so which means that even here we use words like, right? So we're comparing this his face to an underripe banana. And if we choose the correct one, we can choose the second option. So Ethan is sick today, and his face looks like an underripe banana. So all of us chose option 2. So here it says, which picture matches the meaning of the simile? It says, Mr. Lester looks like a zebra in his new sweater. So Mr. Lester looks like a zebra in his new sweater. A zebra, does a zebra have black and white dots? Or does a zebra have stripes, black and white stripes? So does a zebra have spots, or does a zebra have stripes? All right, yes. So which means that if we look at what a zebra has, then it means that the zebra has stripes, right? And a zebra has white and black stripes. So if you're comparing somebody to, let's say, Mr. Racer looks like a zebra in a new sweater, then we cannot compare the stripes of the zebra to something that is polka dot, right? So which means that we are doing option 2. Because if you're comparing the zebra to the sweater or what the person has on, then it needs to be similar. And the stripes is correct. So well done. The stripes is correct. All right. It says, after running around all day, Rick slept like a log. All right. So it says, after running around all day, Rick slept like a log. So we need to say which one is correct. Is it the first option or the second option where he's sleeping soundly? So option 1 or option 2? All right. And we said that when it comes to a log, right? And I said that if you see even a log in the middle of the road, it's going to be difficult for you to remove it, right? So if somebody sleeps like a log, it means that they sleep while nobody disturbed them. They sleep right through, like a peaceful sleep. right? So we're going to go with the second option. And the second one is correct. Nobody, let's say, bothers you, nobody picks you up, nobody, right? And now we're saying that James's hair is like a cactus. So James's hair is like a cactus. So if we say that James's hair is like a cactus and we refer his hair to a cactus, is it the first option or the second option? So if we compare his hair like a cactus, right, or to a cactus, to choose option one or option two. All right. And if we look at let's choose the second one. All right. And the second one is correct. So now the last one says, when they're on vacation, the Floyds eat the kings. So when they're on vacation, the Floyds eat like a king. So they eat like kings, right? Not that they're saying they are, but they are like, they're eating like kings. So they're being compared to kings and queens, all right? So when they're on vacation, the Floyds eat like kings, meaning they're having the best meals, right? All right. And if we compare these two, if they're eating like kings, and then we will choose the second option because they need to show the foods also on there, right? And the second one is correct. So well done. The second one is correct. It says Mia's bag was like an elephant on her back. All right, so we're saying Maya's bag or Mia's bag was like an elephant on her back. And if you think of an elephant, right? So Maya's bag was like an elephant on her back, like an elephant on her back, right? Meaning that it is extremely heavy, right? So we're going to go with option two. So it says here that the inside of Kathy's closet looks like a box of crayons. So the inside of Kathy's cupboard looks like a box of crayons. And I must know a box of crayons has got lots of variety of colors, right? So the inside of cat is closed, it looks like a lot of crayons. And if we look at the lots of crayons, right, we're going to say it's the second option. And the second one is correct. Yes, because it looks like a box of crayons that was fell over. All right, and if we're saying that the cookies taste like lumps of sand, where will we mainly find sand? So yes, sand we will mainly find at the beach, and now they're saying that the cookies it tastes like lumps of sand, meaning that the cookies it tastes like sand. I'm like sand, specifically that's one specific beach. So the cookies taste like lumps of sand. All right. Sorry. So if it says lumps of sand, sorry, and then it means that he's actually pulling his face, right? Instead of being happy. So he's pulling his face. All right. So now it says at 5 o'clock, that freeway is like a parking lot. So at 5 o'clock, that freeway is like a parking lot. If you go to the shops, right, especially like let's say on month end, and in the shopping centers or the shops, it is packed, which means that the parking lot is also packed. And in this case, the freeway, right? We're saying that at 5 o'clock, the freeway is like a parking lot. So now we are referring to compare the freeway, right, to a parking lot. So we say at 5 o'clock, that freeway is like a parking lot. All right. So we say at 5 o'clock, that freeway is like a parking lot. And if we say it's like a parking lot, right, doesn't mean that it is empty with one or two trucks or buses, or is it packed with back to back traffic, right? All right. And if we compare it to a parking lot, then yes, it is busy. right? So which means that it is the second option. All right. All right. And if we look at the pictures, right, or if we look at the symbol, it says Mark felt like someone who had just walked through the desert. And we see that when somebody walks through the desert, all right. So in this case, we are comparing Mark, right, to someone that is walking through the desert. And if we look at someone walking through the desert, right, we think of lots of sand, we think of somebody being tired and hungry and extremely thirsty, right? And if you look at the first option, at the options, sorry, and then we can say it is the first one. It says, Mark felt like someone who had just walked through the desert. So we're going to choose the first one. Oh, all right. Let's do the last one. Yes, somebody is saying miss all the time. Why must we stop? Why do I have to stop? Is it because I need to explain again, or why do I have to stop? All right. And here we said that Ryan played like a tiger in the soccer game. So, like a tiger, right? Ryan played in the soccer game. And if we think of the characteristics of or how a tiger is, right? A tiger is also, we can say, it's fast. So we can say Ryan played like a tiger in the soccer match. Is it the first option where he's very scared, right, of the ball? Or the second option where he is running with the ball, right? Like a tiger, scared, the first option, or second option where he's brave and happy and running with the ball. And if we choose the correct one, we will choose the second option, right? Because if we compare him to playing like a tiger, right? And then we can't add the first one for being scared, right? So the second one is correct. All right, so the second one is correct. All right, and now let's go to the next one. It says, when Alice smiled, her teeth were like diamonds. If your teeth is like diamonds, right? If you look at the diamond or you look something that is very shiny, right? And then it's like it sparkles. It's not dull, it sparkles. So if we compare someone's teeth that is like diamonds, and then we will choose the second one, it sparkles, it shines, right? Yes, and that is why we say it is like diamonds. All right. Yes, the second one is correct. So well done, everybody. Not the yellow teeth. The yellow teeth is not like diamonds. We can say that is like pure gold. What is your question? What is your question? Is it Nolly Matthews? What is your question? All right. So if we also determine the meaning of similes, right? And then it says that when it comes to the meaning of similes, we still see that similes are figures of speech and it compares two things that are actually not alike, right? It's like you're comparing something to another thing that is not alike. And we made an example of the cat and the night sky, where we say that the cat's fur is as dark as the night sky, right? And if we determine the meaning of these words, then it says Lisa's typing was like a tap dance performing on stage. So it says Lisa's typing was like like a tap dancer performing on stage. Is it Does it mean that Lisa made rapid tap dancing noises, or does it mean that Lisa made her performance on the stage? All right. So if we were to compare, let's say in this case, Lisa's trying to Lisa's typing like a tap dancer performing on stage, right? Does it mean that Lisa made rapid tap dancing noises, or Lisa made her performance on stage? And in this case, if she's typing like a tap dancer, then it means that the the noise is like a tap dancer, like click 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 click, right? So that is the first one when you determine the meaning of a word. All right, so that is the end of our lesson on similes. We said similes are words that are, it's figures of speech that are almost alike, right? It's like words that you're comparing to another word or another figure of speech, but it is not the same, right? And we made an example of the cat's fur being as dark as the night sky, right? Meaning that it is basically a pitch black cat. All right, so that is the end of our lesson on similes. Thank you very much, grade threes, for joining the class, and I really hope you're going to have a good evening further. Goodbye.